When most people look at a vacuum floor, they just see a clean room. When I look at the carpet, I remember the horror of my teenage years. By the time I was a teenager, vacuuming wasn't just a chore. It was a high-stakes test. If the lines in the carpet weren't perfectly straight, it wasn't just a mistake. It was a crisis. I would stand there trying to force a heavy machine into flawless rows because I had already learned a dangerous lie. Approval is earned through performance. If I can just do this perfectly, I'll be safe. But in my house, perfection was a moving target. No matter how straight the lines were, the chaos always found a way in. I didn't grow up with parents who protected me from the chaos. I grew up with a parent who manipulated me into managing it. As I mentioned in our last episode, I lost my college savings before I was even 8 years old, and my hidden encyclopedia cash was taken when I was 12. When a parent repeatedly takes from a child, it does something to your mind. My young brain eternalized a terrifying, don't bother saving what your dad gives you. It isn't safe. Someone will just take it away. So you might as well spend it before it disappears. With my hiding spots discovered and my savings gone, I pivoted to a different survival tactic. I couldn't protect my money. I would use it to buy safety. I never forgot the day the toilet broke. It was a mechanical issue, something a teenager has absolutely no control over. But the blame landed entirely on my shoulders. The anger in the house grew so heavy that I couldn't breathe. But my mom's birthday was coming up. Instead of rebelling or fighting back against the unfair blame, my teenage mind thought, how can I fix this? How can I make her happy so I can finally feel safe? So I took the hard-earned money I saved up from babysitting and surprised her. I bought a new toilet. I even got a friend to come over and install it for her. I wrapped a piece of porcelain plumbing and handed it to my mother, desperately hoping it would buy me some peace. But I quickly learned that in my house, peace couldn't be bought. And that is exactly how I reacted as an adult. For years, I was a shopaholic. I was chasing a high, trying to fill an empty void with things. But it was never satisfying. I ended up digging myself deeper into debt. When I became a single mother, I had to change. I fought like crazy to dig my way out of that debt because I wanted to be a good mother to my son. But even now, as an older adult, saving money is still my mountain to climb. I'm actively working on it, but it feels like every single time I finally manage to put some money away, something breaks. A car, an appliance, a crisis. It feels like relentless cycle where nothing stays safe. It took me a long time to realize that this isn't just bad luck. It is the echo of childhood trauma. My brain is still trying to live out the old rule that money isn't safe. But this is where the survival skills of my childhood meet the healing of my faith. In the book of Exodus, the Israelites found themselves wandering in a dry, terrifying wilderness. They didn't have their lives together. They panicked. They made mistakes. They worried about tomorrow. But God didn't wait for them to reach the promised land to show up. Met them right there in the dirt. He provided manna every single day, teaching them to trust that their provider would always give them what they needed. Looking back, I see that Jesus was doing the same for me. He was watching over that teenage girl vacuuming straight lines. He was watching over the gifts from my dad that were stolen from the encyclopedia. He was watching over me when I parted with my babysitting money just to avoid it. People took my earthly security, but they could never touch my heavenly inheritance. I used to think my survival was proof of my own strength. Now, I see it was proof of His grace. He kept me alive in the wilderness because He knew the story wasn't over yet. I was no longer just trying to survive the chaos. I'm learning to live in His truth. If you are listening to my voice today and you feel like you are trapped in your own wilderness, if you feel like every time you take one step forward, the chaos pulls you 2 steps back, I want you to take a deep breath. Your survival wasn't a mistake. The walls you built to protect yourself back then were the only tools you had. But you don't have to live by those old rules of your trauma anymore. The wilderness is not your permanent home. It's just a place where your provider is meeting you today. He's seeing the hidden pieces that were taken from you, and He's rewriting your story. Thank you for sitting with me through episode 2 of Journey in Faith. If this episode touched your heart, please take a moment to subscribe. Leave a review and share this with someone who needs to know that their earthly security is nothing compared to their. I'd love to hear from you. Head over to the comments or find me on social media and tell me, what is the old survival rule your brain is still trying to live out today? Let's break those cycles together.